And wow, my screen is fucking grainy. Hold on a second. It's grainy as hell. Why is it dark? Ugh, son, how dare you? How dare you defy me? How dare you wait until I show up on camera to do this and then go, nah, we're not gonna look good today. No, not gonna happen. Boo. Is that better? No, actually. Is this how it usually is? I'm blaming the sun. I'm also blaming Loki. And yep, I'm just gonna stop rolling with it. Since apparently my lighting today is deciding to be rude. It's a clear day too. It's not like there's clouds and shit. I've had more light on cloudy days than I currently have right now. Annoying. Annoying. Well, actually, my name comes from Greek, so I just happen to be a member of Loki's community, which is, and yes, by the way, yeah, I am wearing my Malin shirt, so hell yeah. Oh, and hi. Did I forget to say hello to everyone? Hi, everyone. It just immediately everything's dark. I don't know why everything's dark, but today I was gonna do like open lines because what not? Nah. Yes. I haven't even touched on the subject matter yet. This is a very grand prologue. We're not squirrels. That's not squirrels yet. I just realized how dark my screen was, and it looks brighter. Like, cause I have like a little screen on here. It looked brighter before I went live. I have no idea what's going on. Whatever. This is what happens when you are relying on Mother Nature to behave itself and don't have professional lighting because, yep. And hey, hello, Purple. Hello, everyone else. I think I said hi already to everyone. You know what? I will verbally say hi because you know what? Y'all are worth it. Y'all are worth me saying like whatever. So hey, Purple, and then let me see. Number 1 is in the house. Chris Persia, for anyone who isn't aware of that joke that has been going on for so long. Let's see. Lori. Hello, Lori. Always nice to see Lori in my chat. Cause well, Hollywood doesn't know how to write strong women, so it's always an honor to have strong women in my chat. Na, 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 na. Cullen is in the house. Let's see who else. Darth Hastur is here. Jetsy, and I think I have been saying that correctly, so I'm very proud of myself. Usually I will butcher a name, and then the first time I hear it or I say it, it sticks with me for like ever, which is how the Adega thing happened. So rude. That one we can't blame Loki on 110%. Let's see. Let's see who else is here. And Derek's here too. All right. So yep, I'm doing open lines because hell, why not? And see, it's afternoon Discord and delight. So hell, you know what? Yes, yeah. Not everything. It's not everything. It's most things though. Me not pronouncing Adega's name correctly was your fault. That was your fault. But yes, I'm blaming you for that one. 110%. I still can't say Josh's last name correctly. Yeah, that is also. Yeah, I'm also putting that one on Loki. Not my inability to relearn how to pronounce something, but just yeah, no, I'm not taking personal responsibility for something that is very obviously my fault. Yeah, I still can't pronounce Josh's last name correctly. In fact, I think I actually have added more syllables into his last name than like when I initially heard it. So let's see. See, all right. Oh, Did I say hi? Hi, Loki. There we go. I'm good. This is a professional show, I promise. Yeah. With no professional lighting. We got the classic YouTuber window thing happening over here. Um, and yeah, professional. We are 110% professional. Mo money. Mo money. Is it? I think you're tricking me. I don't think that's how you pronounce it. I'm just gonna call him I'm just gonna call him a massive Ewok. That's what I call him. Alright. La la la. Oh, and hi, Quintinus. Alright. Okay, so let's try this for like the 8th time before I get distracted again. So yeah, I'm doing open lines today because hell, why not? And then the subject that I'm doing today is one, there's no way we're covering it all today because I'm doing a hard like 2-hour cutoff for the next couple of weeks. Um, it's just like I have a lot of things on my plate for the next couple of weeks, and I need to cut it off at 2 hours. Um, just because I have recently invested in this thing called having a life. I know it's bizarre. Oh, yeah, it is. It is technically Josh Larson. Oh my god. But yeah, it's I got distracted again. God damn it. Professional. We are professional here. Eventually, I promise it will happen. One day. One day we will be a professional show. Um so this is a topic that's definitely not even remotely going to be covered in just one sitting. A, because I have a hard 2-hour cutoff, and B, because, well, there's so many now that you can't cover it in one sitting. And I don't even think a 24-hour stream would be able to cover it. And it's original movies versus their remakes. And it's all of them. I'm not picking like a certain genre because when we start doing that, it gets a little complicated. Because a lot of these have overlapping genres, and so just kind of throwing that out the window. We're just gonna be a little chaotic today. I know. That's a bit unheard of for my channel of all channels to be chaotic. Um, just oh, hold on a second. There you go. Gesture you to my name. But anyway, I have never seen Clash of the Titans. I know. I have never seen one. I've never seen one or the other or whatever. I haven't seen them. I know, I'm awful. There's so many movies I haven't seen, but I am slowly making my way down that list. Um, I also I just like watching horror movies just so much in general that if I do sit down and watch a movie, 9 times out of 10, it is a horror movie. And it's not necessarily the classics. Like, I still haven't seen Rosemary's Baby, which we will be doing that horror stream coming up next week. That part 2, which is not going to be the end of that either, because again, I can't. Why? Oh, because I haven't seen Clash of the Titans. What? Oh no. Okay. On the scales of things that are cancelable, I think Sam's rates a little bit higher than me on not seeing Clash of the Titans. Okay. Okay. All right. I promise. I didn't even really heard of Clash of the Titans until like somewhat recently. I think, was it Wrath of the Titans? Something of the Titans, whatever. I told you I'm moving down the list of having watched it, and my dad wants me to watch it with him, so I will be doing that at some point in the future when I have a moment. So that, like, I am aware of it, but he wants to watch it with me, so that's not something I'm gonna just watch on my own because he has asked me to watch it with him. I'll be quick. You can put what are those little work boxes where like you can work boxes? What the hell am I talking about? I like mixed like 3 sentences into one word. Those little boxes, those little complaints. They don't have them anymore. but it's like they'd have those little boxes and you put a little complaint in there. And it's supposed to be anonymous and shit. I don't think it actually would be anonymous, but you can put your complaints in there. Uh, yeah, no, that one. Yeah, no, it is the 1982 one. Yeah, that's what he's saying. Okay, Clash was the original. So there's Clash, and there's a remake of Clash, and then Wrath of the Titans is a sequel to the remake. Okay, I need to make sure. Okay, I will do it as soon as I get a chance. I am very busy for the next couple of weeks. Maybe after that, we'll be able to do that. Maybe, just maybe. Suggestion box. Thank you. That's it. That's the thing. Yes. I am doing good. Hello, butterflies. What's up, girl? I don't know. I know I'm from Texas and I wear that like very proudly on my sleeve. And no, I haven't even remotely gotten to we haven't gotten to the subject. No, we have because we were talking about remakes. So I am staying on subject. Yes. Ha. Yes. Loophole. We're doing it. Yes. I see a watch party and you like I said, I'm gonna watch it with my dad because he specifically bought the movie knowing how much I love Greek mythology. It is, yeah, Titans would be Greek mythology, yeah. It's been a hot minute. It's somehow been a long day and it's 2 p.m. Let's see. Yeah, so I will watch it. It will happen eventually. Hell, like a few weeks ago, I actually got around to watching Blade Runner for the first time. So I haven't seen 2049 yet. I do plan to. I know some people were, but I like watching. I will watch remakes of movies, or sequels to movies, if they look faithful. Does that make sense? Or like if I like, okay, so I'll watch sequels to a movie if I like the original concept and I kind of want to see where they're going with it. Um, I I'm still trying to get through all the Children of the Corn movies, which is insane. There's so many. You don't realize how many there are. There's so many. I'm on number 6. It took me 3 times to get through the 5th one. And I had to do other things while watching that movie to get through it. But I'm like bound and determined to watch all of them. I don't know why. I no one's forcing me to. I just am. Yes, look. The massive Ewok himself is here, so it is time for the party to start. I did see the Total Recall remake. I did see that. And have I seen the original? I think I've seen the original. I don't remember if I've seen the original or not. I know I've seen the remake. But yeah. Oh hey, sup, Clobbering Times? How's it going? And Positive Candor, hello. See, did anyone else come in that I like missed? I don't think so. Yep. Apple milk. That sounds gross. It's like the citrus, like citric? No, apples aren't citric. What am I talking? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my god. You know what? Hashtag blame Chick-fil-A and hashtag blame Grubhub because I had an order of food on the way and I had to like scarf a bunch of food like 5 minutes before because they canceled my order. The rude bastards. And yep. So the food hasn't hit me yet as far as energy, and I'm running solely on willpower and Mountain Dew at the moment. So bear with me. Bear with me. I'm not drunk. Drunk? Promise. I don't really even drink. No, I don't. So I guess I haven't seen it. I saw the remake. And it took me a long time to realize I'd seen the remake of Children of the Corn and not like the original one. I don't think either one of them are good, honestly. Incoming sugar rush. I know. It is going to hit me like a ton of bricks, and it is going to punch me in the face. And I already have ADHD, so I don't really need help with, like, bouncing off the walls. Hell, I can't sit still just in general, and I'm medicated, so Mountain. I have like this. I have Mountain Dew bottles in my fridge just to for like emergencies of like needing energy as soon as possible. I used to do energy drinks. I don't do that anymore. Because no. Okay, so I'm gonna throw the link out because it has been almost 20 minutes. And I've somehow managed to somewhat stay on topic, but I also promised it was gonna be open line, so give me a moment. Dun 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 dun. So here you go. You crazy people. Have fun. Pop in. Like I said, I'm gonna cut this off like really like at 4 is when I'm gonna cut this off. So yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh no, you don't know Crash until you had espresso. Let me tell you something. I will never drink espresso again. Energy drinks, I found one that I liked, and that was really concerning because energy drinks are much harder to stop drinking if you don't like any of them. But I found one that I liked, and I started drinking it just to drink it, not for the energy purposes. Yes, I had food. I did have food. Yes, I did have food. I'd like crumble up hamburger in like little slider buns. Yes, I did have food. It's just digesting and trying to happen. Oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Let me switch to that. Hello?
Lady.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, there we go. Sorry, I have my volume really low. I always wear headphones. I don't know why I always wear headphones. I'm not, most of the time, if I'm by myself, I'm not listening to anything. I'm just going to blame it on my millennial self. There we go.
Hey,
But Coca-Cola is not an energy drink.
I've got the opposite problem. I'm a tail end boomer.
I'm a tail end millennial. Very tail end.
What's the technology thing?
Remakes and originals. Well, I'm sitting here and I have an original Halloween poster up, like right over there, and that's the first one that comes to my mind when I think of remakes and originals, because there was so much unnecessary backstory that no one ever needed to know in the remake of Halloween. What?
I'm not a great horror movie fan myself, but you saying it occurred to me. How many remakes have we had recently of Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and every single one, every 4 or 5 years, we get another set, and we always get an entire new retelling of or an almost identical retelling of the origin.
Really adamant. Hey, what's up, Clobbering Times?
Oh, and the Fantastic Four as well, of course. We mustn't forget the fact. Well, actually, I wish we could forget the Fantastic Four, but
you start thinking about superhero movies being remade. There's so many.
Hey. Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
What is up?
Alan Eris, the extraordinary Eris. Lovely to see you.
It's good to see you too, man. Yeah.
I really should, if I'm going to start appearing up there, I really should change my name to William Tell, shouldn't I?
Well, if you want to.
Well, I'm about to shoot an apple. Wrong weapon, but I'm about to shoot an apple, apparently.
Yeah, so rude. Racist against apples. What? Are you serious? I had no idea that's been done like 4 times now.
Yep.
Holy hell.
I know they redid one with Lady Gaga, wasn't it? Which I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that was received quite well, actually.
It looked good. I'm not a big fan of those types of movies, so it's kind of hard to get me into those kind of movies in general. I am a fan of Lady Gaga, so well, her fame monster days, I'm a fan of Lady Gaga. Let's put it that way. But yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, when I think of remakes, I think of like Halloween. I think of things like that. I do not think of superhero movies, but holy hell, have we had so many like remakes of superhero movies? Now I'm just kind of just like, oh my gosh.
I'm not sure I would call them remakes though, because they're coming from another source anyway. They're just more like interpretations. A remake to me means a film that was in a quote unquote original film and then remade. A lot of the early classic films of the 30s and 40s are remakes of silent films of before sound.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about silent movies and then remade into like full feature, I think of let's see, what is that one? I can't remember what the original one is called, but it's what 12 Monkeys is based off. And I prefer the silent movie version over the one with Bruce Willis. Yeah, I prefer the silent movie version. In fact, the one with Bruce Willis in it pissed me off because there was so much filler that the silent movie one was able to just capture without any noise, except for the obviously the soundtrack and the music. But it was like the lean version, and then you got like the really like awful, like there's a bunch of fat on the meat, you're gonna cut away, and if you just cut out all that filler, then it would be fine. But they wanted to make it a full-length movie, whereas the silent movie wasn't a technical full-length movie. And yeah, they showed it to us in art class, and I got angry at the Bruce Willis one. I really did.
Well, Terry Gilliam was always verbose, so yeah, he was kind of a good filmmaker, but he a bit bloated with his film sometimes.
Did he make that one?
I believe that's a Terry Gilliam film, is it not?
Disappointing. That's really disappointing because I love him. And yes, thank you.
I could be wrong, but I thought so.
I'm butchering. I'm pretty sure that's French. That's French, right?
I think it probably means something along the lines of the throwaway, because jeter is to throw.
It's something. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Is that the one that's basically not so much a movie as a load of still frames?
In a way, yeah. It's technically more of a short film if you were really going to silent movie film, I guess would be it. But to then go from that and to immediately roll into the 12 Monkeys, Bruce Willis version, it was like, I don't need like most of this movie.
Oh, you say that reminds me. Perfect example of remakes. Yeah. Years ago, I went to the cinema, the theatre, to see the Bond movie Never Say Never Again. Really good movie.
Yes, that's a remake.
I got home, turned on the telly, and guess what was on the TV?
Thunderball.
Thunderball. Yes, exactly. I literally got home from the cinema with the family. I was quite young enough. Turned the TV, and there's Thunderball.
You know what?
Just seen this.
Oh, you know why it was a remake, right?
They couldn't get the.
It's the only Bond. It's the only Bond story they had the rights to.
Oh right.
Bond.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, it was a different company that made that. It was Warner. It wasn't Broccoli Studios. That's why you couldn't call it 007 James Bond's Never Say Never Again. It just had to be called James Bond. It came out the same years as Octopussy in the same month. Wow. Sorry, I know. Saying that title's embarrassing.
No, it's really funny that you could totally tell that they were pushing the envelope as much as they could with the names. The Bond girl names. Like they were just, fuck, man. There's one called Pussy Galore.
I was about to say exactly. Goldfinger's pilot. The recently passed away on a Blackman. Pussy Galore.
Oh yeah, so
imagine
funny.
the snickering of walking up to the theater. Imagine people selling box office tickets, because I know I walked up to the theater and bought tickets to Octopussy and walked in there and like, you have to say that out loud, and the person's going, "Oh God, make your stupid joke."
It's so funny though.
It's a dumb title. It's actually one of the fairly decent Bond film from Roger Moore's stint, but the titles.
It's one of those funny things as well, where of course it can mean slightly different things even either side of the pond. I mean, yes. If anybody's old enough to remember the hilarious comedy "Are You Being Served?" The running
Oh,
joke was Molly Sugden's British slogan, who
oh yeah.
Blue Whitford, who's always going on about looking after her pussy. She was, of course, referring to her cat, but it was an ongoing. But yeah, it's
right, sure.
yeah, but it's not perhaps. Well, I don't know these days, but certainly back in the 80s, it wasn't perhaps such a prevalent meaning of the word "this side of the pond" as it is over your side. I think it probably is now because there's been so much cross-fertilization. Yes, Derek, I'm free. That's the one.
Oh man.
Something I'd love to see him try to remake these days is something to remake. Go on, I dare you, BBC. Remake Are You Being Served?
They
Don't
will.
challenge them. They'll do
They'll do
it.
it.
They will do it.
It'll be called "Are You Being Woke?"
It'll be directed by Chris Chibnall because
Yes.
apparently he has some serious dirt on some people. There's no way he's still directing shit if he
Yeah.
with how awful he has done. There's no way.
Yes. He has He has goat pictures. There's no question about it.
No,
Well, not just that, but like I would understand if he was, not a white dude. And as awful as that is to say, I would almost understand it if he was not a white dude and they didn't fire him, but he is. So it's kind of like, okay, so what do you know? What do you know, buddy? Because you didn't know one of the first to go. What do you know? What do you got?
Absolutely.
You got something. You got something.
Point. Piers Wenger, someone said he's not going to give any lead roles to white straight males. Chris Chibnall's a white, as far as I'm aware, he's a heterosexual male.
Yeah.
Where's he in a lead role? Where's that for your diversity and inclusion agenda, BBC? You've got one of your flagship programs, flagship on the Titanic, and it's headed by a white straight male. So much for your diversity and inclusion agenda.
Well, it was like when Brie Larson, and apparently I can't go stream without mentioning Brie Larson. It was like when Brie Larson was like, there needs to be more diversity, and everyone was like, well, Monica Rambeau is technically a Captain Marvel. Why don't you step down and let, she kind of faded off and didn't say anything.
Of course.
Diversity says extremely entitled white female.
Now there's a movie that could use a remake. That stupid Brie Larson Captain Marvel movie. Remake it with Marvel, and then you could put Monica Rambeau later.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're doing that for the second one. I think I don't really. But Chris mentions something actually that I wanted to bring up real quick. Bring up Halloween, the new Halloween. I know I don't like that they did. I don't really like that because I don't think it was good enough to warrant it being like everything else being cut away. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Halloween 3 didn't have anything to do with the first two, so
yeah,
get rid of that one easily.
What I'm saying is like, so they kind of paid they got themselves into a corner, and they, instead of just remaking it entirely properly this time, not like how they did with the backstory and me getting to know an alternate universe Michael Myers and how his childhood was, because I very briefly saw the parents and there's no way that's what the parents were like. From that very brief scene at the end of towards the beginning of Halloween 1, where it's like this like very normal couple just kind of coming in, and there's no way the mom and dad were like that if they were that way in the remake. But see, the problem is if it would have just ended, if that would have been like the end, I could have forgiven it. The new Halloween, I could have forgiven it, but that's not what they're doing. They're doing another one, and God knows how many more they're going to do. So I was like, so you're just doing what you're doing again. What you wanted to get rid of again. instead of giving it a proper ending, which is what I think they were initially going for, they were like, oh, this made lots of money. Let's make another one. It's like, well, that's what happened last time. That's what you were trying to undo. So that's... Oh, my God.
Nope, I got you. Nope. Well, it gets complicated when they wave a web like that, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like Terminator. Like Terminator, for instance. Terminator people, they worked themselves into a corner like 4 times, and every time they tried to undo it, they made it worse. And they just went back to doing what they were, what they hated. By undoing something, they made it worse and did the thing they were trying to undo. That's what happened in Terminator movies. Sequels are a whole different other stream that we can talk about.
Yes, I've done that. I think, didn't you and I talk about sequels one time?
Franchises, but
yes,
sequels, unnecessary sequels is going to be a whole different stream that I'm probably going to end up doing in September. And yes, it did, and that pissed me off.
Thank you, Purple Valkyrie. Very sweet. No, I was confusing that. A while back on my older, now defunct show, I did a show about. I thought this was an interesting topic. It was sequel oriented, but it was the third and all. How people always say the second ones are better and the third ones are always bad. We did our top. What are the best third films and installments and sequels? Because they're weird, aren't they? But anyway, that's for another time. Yeah. But I just throw that out there.
That is interesting. I'll have to think about that. There's not many, is there?
No, we had a tough time coming up with.
Third Indiana Jones movie is the only one I can think of at the moment.
I love Star Trek 3, but maybe that's just me. So.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was going to say Search for Spock.
Yeah, Search for Spock is good. You can't watch Wrath of Khan and then not watch Search for Spock immediately afterwards. It's pretty much impossible.
It's pretty much the 2, 3, and 4 effectively make a trilogy anyway. For that one,
There's some other decent ones.
Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and Snake. My brain's gone off to Search for the Whales. My brain, Voyage Home.
Voyage Home.
Yeah, they're effectively a trilogy.
Like I said, there are a few decent ones, but as far as great ones,
yeah. Let's see. There's a lot more. There's a lot more sequel-itis, I think, in Hollywood than there is remake-itis. But if they can't make any more sequels, they go to remakes. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, well they're running out of sequels and franchises. So right now the remake is. It looks over the past 20 years. It's the remake. Remember how you were talking about? We were talking about the older films. Some of the classic films that are remakes that no one knows are remakes, like 10 Commandments. I mean the 50s one. Ben-Hur. Those are both remakes.
I think Quo Vadis is a remake as well.
Yes. So, but no one knows that because they're remakes of silent films. And by the way, one of 10 Commandments is a remake, the director remaking his own film. So this will be the mill. So.
I suppose. Director's cut.
Well, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is sort of a remake.
It's a prequel, technically speaking.
No, it's a remake of a Cary Grant film called Gunga Din from the 40s.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
The 30s.
I saw something kind of that. Yes,
it's a disguised remake, if you know what I'm saying.
And yes,
technically, Casino Royale is a remake.
We will be talking. I haven't even seen the original Avatar, and I know that when all of a sudden, well, I've seen enough of it. I haven't sat down and watched the whole thing, but I've seen enough of it to be like, okay, I don't really see how this was like the biggest movie for like the longest time. I have no idea.
Me either.
But like I heard Pandora World is good in Disney World, but I haven't been there either. I just don't know why James Cameron was like, so I got like 12 movies. Let's go. And it's like, well, 2 hasn't even come out. It's been 10 years, my dude. So
yeah,
I don't think it was strong enough to have a sequel, let alone 12. But okay, maybe you should have done a miniseries instead. I don't know. Picked it up by HBO. Maybe you should have done that.
12. He ain't gonna do it. 2 will be. We'll all be on. I mean, I'll probably be dead by then. 2. I mean, it's garbage. 2. I hate the first one, but I'm not even talking about how much I hate it. The 2 movies, dude.
It's not even strong enough to. I don't even think it was strong enough to have another one. And I think
No.
it's stronger off by not having another one. Like, they could make us. I'm just waiting for them to announce a sequel to Inception. I've been waiting for a while for it, because it's one of those that didn't get a sequel. And it's stronger off because of that, because the ambiguous ending is like a big strong point of that movie. There's a lot of problems in that movie, but there's a big strong point for it to leave with a maybe not, and so it's just.
I mean, if we're talking upcoming remakes, I am so thoroughly in two minds about June.
Mm-hmm.
I am so in two minds about that. It has the possibility of being fantastic. It has the possibility of being a horrible work. And I'm really in two minds about that. And I quite enjoyed them. I quite enjoyed the David Lynch version, which itself was what does it count as a remake if the original movie never actually made it into full production?
No.
In that case, David Lynch wasn't a remake.
If it never was fully made?
Yeah. No, because there was a I forgot the guy's name. French director. I think it was made. It was never actually finishable for cinema, which was supposedly a much more faithful one before David Lynch's one. I forgot who it was.
You talking about Dune? Are you talking about Dune?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't read. I don't know like anything about Dune really.
Yeah, I've seen that one, but I didn't know there was one before that they tried to make.
Well, they should be right. Yeah, there was. It's the one was supposed to be quite a good one. I can't think who it was.
Yeah. Oof. A trilogy.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
God, do I have to bring it out again? Hold on a second.
Oh, there's a good remake topic that this person just brought up accidentally. Peter Jackson.
And again,
what you got there? Oh,
trilogy.
Nice.
Trilogy.
Say it again. Trilogy.
This is trilogy. There is how many pages?
A few. Not a lot.
Exactly 300.
Wow.
Trilogy. Ambitious to be a trilogy. Not a good ambitious, a bad ambitious, but yeah.
Yeah.
Trilogy. Like, again, I don't need to have read this in order to tell you they overdid it. Maybe two movies. But the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone, is about 300 pages. I think maybe 320 if I'm remembering correctly. Or right at 300. And it was one movie. So
I think that's about the last one where she decided to expand exponentially. The next couple of books after that were very, very big. I've got a feeling that I think at one point I had in hardbacks. I bought my own sneeze, and I think the first 3 books, or possibly the first 4 books, if you lay them flat on top of each other, they came up to about the same height as the next book itself. Suddenly it'd be massively huge.
I'm trying to get this article to load because it has like a whole bunch of like in the last 10 years, like there's like 79 remakes that have happened.
Wow.
And 79 movies that were remade.
They're so forgettable.
And I'm trying to get it to load, but it's really misbehaving at the moment. So I'm trying to calm it down.
Well,
but when I get it to load.
On the subject of Peter Jackson, he's guilty of idiotic remake artists, in my opinion, because I love the original Willis O'Brien 1931 King Kong film. Dino De Laurentiis' terrible remake in 1976 gave us a sequel a few years later, King Kong Lives, which is also bad. But Peter Jackson, his 2005 King Kong was a snoozer to me. Good effects, but I'm going, this is a guy, here's a mentality I do not understand. Maybe you can explain it to me, Eris or Colin. I don't understand a filmmaker, because I used to want to be one. I don't understand someone who says this in the same sentence. I love, quote unquote, name a movie. Like, for example, Peter Jackson said he always loved the original King Kong film. And then how does your next sentence be? I can't wait to remake it. I do not understand. That's why I hate remakes mostly. Why are you remaking it if you really love it? I don't get the mentality. And you made a big 18-hour bore fest, in my opinion, where the other one's a short and sweet, brilliant, wonderful film that proved that its remakes couldn't top it, in my opinion. So I don't get that mentality at all. The remake mentality escapes me if you're a filmmaker who claims to love the thing you're remaking. Just me.
I could see it if you add a rider to that sentence and it was an older film. I can't wait to remake it with modern technology.
How about?
I don't get that either.
I can see it possibly, not necessarily working. Sorry, I can see that as an idea. I'm not saying it necessarily work, but I could see that. It's like we have this discussion that things like Doctor Who and the like when they do a DVD, a Blu-ray, and they update the special effects. I can see that as a point of view. Whether it's a good idea or not, it's another matter entirely. Sorry, I interrupted you there, Eris.
No, it's fine. I interrupted you, actually. I was just going to say that The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. I've seen the original, and I've also seen John Carpenter's.
Yeah.
And John Carpenter's, there's a lot of love for the original in it. That's a proper remake. I think that when you actually, and you build on it.
I do love that.
It does build on it. So I think The Thing is, in my opinion, how to put this? What you should be aiming for. You need to have enough from the original that's in there to intrigue fans and almost build on it. So it's slightly sequel, slightly original. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there for people who saw the original, and it encourages people to go watch the original, not to replace it. I think we're looking at something that makes you appreciate and love the original more rather than trying to replace the original, which I think a lot of remakes are currently suffering under the idea that they can replace the original. And I think that's the difference that we're looking at there, that mentality.
Well, absolutely. But what John Carpenter did, though, was stay closer to the original short story. So that's why it was different. And it's far better. Look, that's one of those rare, unbelievably rare occasions where I love that one more than I love the original, which was Howard Hawks' The Thing from Another World. Yeah. I think it's better. I think Carpenter's is better. But like you just kind of pointed out, you can differentiate between the two. They're more like similar movies than one being a remake of the other. It went a different way, but almost scene-for-scene remake, like that idiot Van Sant did for Psycho, or what's some other one? Or RoboCop, or these things that are just pastiche remakes of things, trying to look because they want to have slick effects, like King Kong by Jackson. He didn't do anything different. He just ripped up the same story and did it with updated effects. You don't want to do that with an old painting. You don't want to find a Picasso and go, well, this would look better modernly painted. King Kong didn't need to be screwed with. Well, pick another artist.
Modern art. Do not take a fucking modern artist and paint over. No, don't you dare. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, and it's just graffiti when you're doing that. So again, John Carpenter said, "Look, I'm not gonna." Yeah, Carpenter did a similar story based more on the original story, and it's just skeletally a remake, yes, by name and stuff. Even though that's called The Thing from Another World, this was called John Carpenter's The Thing. It's different enough to stand on its own. I think, and it's a wonderful film. And that's why anything is just like this horrible Fright Night remake, this horrible RoboCop, all these horrible things. All they make me do is want to watch the original.
The RoboCop, I didn't see either one, but I did hear that there's a big difference. One of the big differences is the remake was less violent, which was weird. It was like they took a step back, like they were too shy to be able to do what the original did, and I think that's kind of pathetic, honestly, because a lot more things are accepted nowadays in cinema. I mean, hell, think of some of the movies that come out, there's a lot more wiggle room when it comes to what's acceptable in cinema nowadays, and then to just wimp out on certain scenes. I'm not asking for more gore and blood, but it's like, if you're going to remake something, at least have the balls to remake it and don't slap a PG-13 rating on it. If it's R, for instance, that's another thing, is trying to... things are usually R for a reason. There are some movies that are like we want to be like this movie, so we're going to slap an R rating on it, even though it's not an R-rated movie. It's just, I feel like from what a little bit I've seen and what I've heard about the RoboCop one is they took the spine out of the movie for the remake.
Well, yeah, the original film was originally going to be an X. They had to trim it. Paul Verhoeven had to trim it to make it an R.
Oh, here we go. Holy hell.
Oh,
I forgot
God.
about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, I wish you could forget about it.
Oh, I forgot about that. Holy hell. I actually did. Willy Wonka's great.
Oh, well, yeah, again, another thing, like, what are you doing remaking that? What is wrong with you people?
It wasn't even a remake. It was like a sequel, like, weird thing. It was it was like its own category of bizarre.
True.
Like, it wasn't anything, really. And then to hear the backstory of Charlie, not Charlie, but to hear the backstory of it was kind of like, oh, so like your dad didn't want you to eat candy because he was a dentist? It was like a serial sociopathic dentist. What the hell's happening?
There was. I haven't seen the Johnny Depp version. I know there was. I remember there was a sequel to the book. I think the sequel, which was Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. I think whether or not that was ever filmed, whether or not that actually expanded any further on Willy Wonka, I don't know. I've never read either of the books. But one thing that actually talking about remakes does occur to me is if Deity of Mischief is still in the chat. I'm surprised he hasn't mentioned Gojira. How many remakes have there been of that? How many Godzilla
Too many?
remakes have there been? Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, there's only one American remake, which is garbage, the one with Matthew Broderick. The Japanese have actually rebooted it a couple of times. It's a series, though.
Oh yeah.
It's spreading. The reboot, remake, and sequelitis is spreading. Oh dear.
Yeah, technically in '91 they rebooted it, sort of, because they kept changing things so much, but it was still considered to be part of the series, and it lasted to like 2007. Well, actually 2000 they killed it. In 1996 they killed the original Godzilla and made his son. In 2000 took over, and that went to like 2007, and now they've started to remake them again. So, and in America, these two new Godzilla films we have are just American versions. It's weird.
I saw the first one, not enough giant monster battles, and then the second one was again not enough monster battles. It's like, okay, guys, you know what? When I come to a movie that is promising me giant monster battles, I want giant monster battles for like most of the movie. I don't care about the human drama, but if you're gonna give me human drama, give me some good human drama. Like sure. Transformers is another good example of that, where it's like, dude, I just want giant robots fighting each other. Thank you very much. And what you gave me was Shia LaBeouf going through like a midlife crisis when he was entering college. So thank you for that movie. I didn't need any of that, but you gave that to me, and I didn't appreciate it.
Right. Oh, terrible. Yeah.
Hey, Al, what's up, girl?
Yeah, man. Go ahead. I was going to say, you had someone mentioning the lovely, Purple Valkyrie mentions the Dredd sort of remake. I'm one of the few people you ever meet that hates that new Dredd film, but don't worry, the Stallone one's crap too. I'm a fan of the comic. I'm a purist, but most people do like it. To be fair, sometimes even if you don't like something, most people do, you got to go out there and say, look, maybe it's me. Everyone else thinks it's great. So, but I hated Dredd.
To be quite honest, I didn't dislike the Stallone movie. I liked Dredd, but I'm one of them. The biggest complaint I had about the Stallone movie was he took his helmet off. But I do think that story-wise,
true.
The Stallone movie was a lot. I read 2000 AD from issue 1 when it first came out.
Nice. It looked more like it. Yeah, it looked right.
Yeah, and a lot of the characters were in it. The storyline was in it. I didn't particularly play it because I didn't dislike it. I wasn't a major fan of it. I much prefer the Dredd movie. Um,
All right.
although we're a bits and pieces of that, and I don't personally take to, but there's personal taste.
I hear you.
Let's
I would be
see.
quite happy for me if they ever actually managed to get around to doing this Red TV series they keep mentioning. As long as Carl Urban's still in it.
Oh, there you go. You got it. Got it
I
working.
got it.
Yeah. Hold on. It's
79. Jesus.
not liking me at all.
79.
Like, it's not liking me to the point that my camera is now like, whew.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. Yep, the frame rate has dropped. Uh-oh.
Is that another one that's got a lot of pop-up adverts in
All
it?
right. Yep. So, does
Sep-
somebody want to take the bullet? I'm going to throw this in the private chat. Does somebody want to take the bullet and throw it up on their screen?
Try.
Hold on a second.
Want me to try it, or I could? If you may not.
Whew, okay, that was awful. Okay, so I was just watching me like very slow motion make movements with my hands. I'm gonna try that again. I'm gonna do that again. Continue. I'm going to try to find another one that is less pop-up-y and holy hell. Let's see.
A glitchy site is what you're saying.
It's
Insider.
Insider, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I found it.
You found it? Do you want to share your screen? I can throw it up, and then you can just scroll.
Yeah, if you want.
There's a lot of pop-ups though, so if we drop
Okay, well, it looks like it's okay. Let's see. I'm seem to be getting it.
Okay. You might have better internet
Let's see
than
here.
mine.
Go over here.
Because yeah, that was like killing my stream. My fans are already like full blast at the moment. It is use a browser that has it built
Let's see if
in.
it worked.
Pause Eris bad. I know. All right, hold on a second. Let's see.
It's not working? Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Is that you or me?
We did it. This is you.
That's
All
me?
right, so you're in full control. Yeah, you have full control. There you go. Scroll at will. 79.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I don't have ad blocker. So because I'm
Oh, I got you.
that person. So yeah.
I don't think they're in any order.
Nope, they're not in any order. It's just there's first of all there's 79. What does it say?
Oh, there it goes with the ad blocker crap.
Wait, what does it say? The Business Insider is advertises for a site we noticed you have a pop up.
Yeah, let me get rid of it.
No, just don't disable ad block. That's what killed my stream. No.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Stop.
No. All right, we're good.
That's
Just start over.
a lot of these, isn't it? Is that
God,
it's all good. I can't believe that they had the gall to say that.
Oh, so annoying. No. Sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault. I'm actually shocked. It's like you're not allowed to have a you're not allowed to have ad blocker on. So go fuck you. No, we have this on because your website's so garbage. We can't use it.
You not noticed YouTube recently? Almost every time I watch a YouTube video, I get recently, especially if I do it through the TV. Almost every time I get an advert before it starts. 5 minutes in, another advert, again another advert. Apparently, you can, if you're the video creator can set something in the setting. I don't know how to do it. I've never looked at that. But you can set it so it doesn't show up adverts, midstream adverts. If you don't, they just come in, and half the time you can't even get past. It's you can't even skip them. Fortunately, most of the time they're quite short. But I mean, a couple of times I've got 10 minutes into the stream and I've gone, sorry, I've had 3 sets of bloody adverts in the last 10 minutes. Smeg this, clicked out. If I'm really interested, I'll go onto one of these sites that will actually let me download the YouTube video entirely, download the video and watch the video when I want, which doesn't have any adverts in it.
Here we go with the ads. Ad blockers. Good Lord.
let's see if I can find a different one because, yep, I'm just not going to give Insider any more clicks because, yeah, that's unacceptable, man.
Screw them.
I keep coming up with either the best movie remake of the decade or the
worse,
worst.
yeah.
Yeah, the list of filmmakes.
There's-
List of filmmakes, but
There's a list of
Wikipedia
remakes
one
on
is
Wiki.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You try and navigate to that by note, by letter.
Yeah.
Oh, this is filmmakes A to M.
Let's see. Oh, and I really wanted to use this site, and it's just saying no. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to use it.
Let's try this one. At least if you find a list of best remakes, it'll go. Yeah, I don't think they're that good, but at least they're a list.
Best remakes of the past decade. Okay, so I got something from Screen Rant. Oh my god, no, it's one of these that is like you every time you want to see a new page, you have to click. It's like, no, I just give me the list. I know why you're doing it.
I've got A to M from Wiki up there.
Let's see. Just give me. That's not a list. That's not a list. Don't tell me that's a list. You get
every one of these.
No, that's page 1 of 2. That's a list of A to M remakes. They
all want the ads thing going. What is the ad? What are the ads today?
What the hell? Okay, what is going on? What is happening? Why is?
It's all about ads today for some reason. Every one of these sites. Good Lord, did something happen we don't know about?
Okay, you know what? Here, all right, I got something. We're just gonna roll with this. This is awful. Oh, you have the list of the remakes. No, I don't want all the remakes. I just want like recent remakes. Yeah, because then
yeah.
So hold on. I think I got something. IMDb is behaving itself and not being awful. So it's remakes since the 2000s, and this was made in 2016. So it's going to be relatively correct. But holy hell in a handbasket. All right. Okay. All right. Ta-da. So worst remakes, because hell yeah, this is the worst remakes. Yeah, I know it's all the websites though. Like all the websites we've been trying to find. And I'm going down the first list on Google. And it's just like, man, it is awful. I've never seen it that bad before. Where it basically like started to shut down my stream because that Bleeding Cool didn't do that to my laptop, Insider. Bleeding Cool, which is well known for being one of the worst run websites. And it didn't do it. Well done for being worse than Bleeding Cool, Insider. Here we go. So, I don't know anything about Conan Barbarian, so this one's different for me. Also, I'm hearing myself. Who is hello? Either one of y'all. Hi. Can y'all not hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was like, man, like no one's here.
Did you find one? I found one, by the way, but go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I don't know anything about Conan Barbarian. I heard
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Momo, yeah.
Oh yes, it was when it was Jason Momoa, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I heard awful things about Fright Night.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Sometimes this is an effect. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but sometimes if you love a movie so much, you can't bear to look at the remake. And someone says, "Oh no, it's really good." Fine, it's good. I love David Tennant, by the way. I love him, but I don't care if it's good. You don't understand how much I love the film. I don't want to say it's ridiculous to remake it. I get some remakes, even if I'm not that fond of them, but to some films, I'm like, look, don't touch it. Just what are you doing? And that one falls in that category for me. The original Fright Night is a very special film to me.
Well, so this Fright Night has an awesome cast.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah.
you have
David Tennant.
Chekhov, Colin Farrell, David Tennant, and then Toni Collette, which I know from Hereditary. She knocked it out of the park with her portrayal in that movie. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Lou Bonnet was doing a David Tennant appreciation stream earlier on Friday night. Got mentioned in that. So,
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's great, no question about it. But I mean, I can't do it. I mean, I love the original too much. Even the sequel was not. By the way, it has a terrible sequel, and I don't like that either. But the original, not hell with the remake.
I think it's really bad when I've never heard of these. Like,
oh my god, yeah, Russell Brand, get out of here with him. Oh my god, the original Arthur is a wonderful movie.
Oh, it is, yes.
Like, I don't even remember this.
Oh my god!
I don't know that.
You're not gonna remember most of them. You're not gonna remember most of these because no one watched them.
They remade Footloose. Oh,
yeah, a remake of Footloose. What the hell's wrong with these people?
What the hell? Why would you do that? Oh god, I'm actually feeling worse now about Hollywood now that I'm seeing this.
That's why Hollywood is dead. They're absolute idiots. But how often have you ever heard of a remake exalted it over the original? And once in a while you hear someone say, that was pretty good. Come on, it was a pretty good remake. But you never hear them say, oh man, that's way better than the original. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Lady Killers, that's an old one. It's an old black and white.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
I'm more surprised that there was a remake of Footloose. That blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's even worse if your remake hasn't even been heard of. Like, to find out that there was a remake of Psycho was kind of like
scene for scene, by the way.
Why on earth would you do that? It took me like 4 hours to watch the original Psycho. Not because I was trying to, push my way. It was really hard to get through it, but because every time I paused, it was like a work of art. Every frame I paused.
Brilliant.
It was like a work of art, and I wanted to hang on my wall because it was beautiful.
Brilliant.
You're saying every frame of pause. Then were you watching Mauler or something?
This was before. No, this was back in college. Mauler didn't even exist as a channel back then. But I kept pausing because I kept. It was just so beautiful. Like every single frame. It was just. So it took me like 4 hours to get through it because it blew my mind so much. About last night, a lot of these are romance comedies that are. Oh God, don't get me started on Amityville Horror.
I can't believe the Coen brothers remade something like Lady Killers. They're idiots. No, Amityville Horror remake. Oh boy.
Oh, hold on, the Coen brothers. The Coen brothers.
Tom Hanks
remade an Ealing comedy.
Yeah, and you got Tom Hanks. Imagine that's a Tom Hanks movie no one even remembers, but people remember the Michael Caine version.
Oh God.
It's old, but
Alec Guinness. The original one was a well cast of prime level British talent. Alec Guinness.
I don't know how you go to a set and say, "Yeah, we're remaking a classic, boys. We're going to be better than that," and you go, "No, we're not." I mean, someone's got to be sitting around going, "All right, guys, whatever, action." People are going to forget about this next year, next week, even, but people remember that original.
People forget how much work there is before they even in a movie before it even starts filming. There is so much work that goes into a movie before they even turn on a camera. So for it to get past that point to actually filming some of these is like, how though? How did you make it past pre-production and actually start filming? And it's almost like some of these where it's like New Mutants, which has been in post-production hell for almost, I think, 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually probably, I think, over 3 years now. It's just like, man, was it that bad? Was it that awful that it's been stuck in post-production hell? Now, there have been some movies that get stuck, and then when they release, they're amazing. God, I am forgetting the name. There's one that I am forgetting the name of. But just because some movies get pushed back doesn't really mean a whole lot. Like V for Vendetta got pushed back. It was actually supposed to be released on November 5th, but it got pushed back to March. Then we had that Sonic the Hedgehog movie that came out, and how it being pushed back was great. It was really amazing for it to do that because they actually listen to the fans and the large reason why the movie was so successful. But when you get stuck in post-production hell for 3 years, it's bad news.
Do you know why the 5th of November would have been very appropriate for V for Vendetta?
Yes, because remember the 5th of November, gunpowder treason and plot.
The Morse code for the letter V is ... dash.
That's the rhythm.
Da 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 da, which is Beethoven's 5th.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the connection. The Morse V is literally bum 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 bum. Well, not quite, because that's not quite Adrian Morse, but
the V for Vendetta is my 3rd favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love it. But,
one of my favorite comics.
Yeah, I have it. I need to read it. I haven't read it yet. But
it's a very different experience than the movie. I'll tell you that.
But I heard they're a little bit more extremist.
The comic is deeper. There's so much more layers to it. I mean, I liked the movie, but it was an action film, kind of a popcorn film with some decent depth to it. I'll give it, and a great performance by Hugo Weaving. So it's palpable.
That domino scene at the end is like my favorite thing. It's oh my god, it's so great.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
And it took him forever to end it. That's what really drove me crazy. Back in the '80s, it was in the back of it was in a magazine called Warrior. It was a black and white series, and it ended. The magazine ended, and we had to wait like 5 years for DC to let him end it. When DC bought it, so annoying.
Oh yeah, so Amityville Horror has had so many remakes, and its novelty I don't think ever really took off because A, it was proven that they were lying, the original couple was lying, and B, the original wasn't that good. So when you have the original, which is usually going to be the best one, sometimes the sequel is a little bit better than the original, but when the original isn't that good, and then you remake it, and this movie, Amityville Horror, has been remade, I don't even know how many times. It has been remade, I think 5 times.
It shows what a bunch of hacks they are.
They keep bringing them out. I think they have another one that's coming out this year, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh my god, why?
Amityville Horror 2020. It's Amityville Island. Or Amityville Island is supposed to come out in 2020. I think.
Amity Island, that's where Jaws is.
It is, yeah.
And then, it is.
Like, Ghost of Shock.
There's supposed to be another one that comes out. But Annie, I actually saw that as a play. I never saw this as a movie, but yeah. Yeah.
But technically, I think they're calling it a remake. It's the 2nd film based on Annie, but you're right, really based on the play.
Yes, there's like an insane amount of Amityville horror list of Amityville horror movies. There we go.
18?
Hold on, I gotta check this now. List of Amityville horror is the worst, I think, out of all of them.
Yeah, with James Brolin and Margot Kidder.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Holy shit, she's not liked.
What?
There's 16, and there's like 2 more or some shit coming out.
All based on that same one?
Yeah, we could call it based on it.
Oh, I mean remakes or such, or sequels and such, or something?
Sequels, whatever. Yeah, it's like,
wow.
I thought Children of the Corn was bad. Amityville Horror has nothing on Children of the Corn.
Wow, that's a lot of corn.
I see.
Brian, here's one that aggravates me right here. I'm sorry. This is a TV movie remake. Brian's song. I like Sean Marr is from Firefly. But the original film from the late 60s, based on Gale Sayers and Brian Piccolo, it's a football film, is one of the most touching, wonderful films, one of the most memorable movie soundtracks ever. And I remember when they remade this, it's another one of those shake your head going, what are you doing? The original has James Caan and Billy D. Williams. Why do we need this? It's so stupid. The original is a really wonderful film. It's a touching film. It's a true story. Even if you don't have to be into football to enjoy it. I'm a football fan, but it's great. And I'm going, okay. Again, I don't understand these hacks. Maybe you can help me with this. How do you walk around on the set? How are you proud of yourself as an artist when you're just recrapping off of someone's work and you're not doing anything? And you say, "Oh, he'll do different things with it," but no, you're still taking somebody else's stuff. I just don't see it as an artist. I don't see why you think you're an artist when you're coloring all over someone else's stuff. Just me. Just me. Another dumb remake. Carrie. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, Carrie. I don't really. I've just really seen the prom scene. I've seen them both, and I actually prefer the remakes prom scene because of what happens. Like, it is insane. Girl.
Isn't that the second remake, or is it the third?
The one. This I think is the second one, or at least this is the remake. I think there's only been 2.
Okay.
But the prom scene, how the prom scene was edited in the original bothers me. I'm not a fan of it. How it was edited, like comic book panels. It was like, oof, what are you doing?
Very disturbing.
I think the actress. I'll put it this way. I think the actress was better in the original. Yes, I think the prom scene was better in the remake.
Gotcha.
So I wish they had the actress from the original do the prom scene from the remake because she is. And I haven't read the book. I know it's based on a book. I haven't read the book.
Well, Stephen King, isn't it?
Yeah. Which do I have, Carrie? Oh, I do. Huh. All right. Oh, I have no excuse then. So, all right.
The original film had John Travolta.
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen the prom scene, which is the reason to really watch that movie. It's so I had to see both of them, and I really actually do prefer the prom scene. Now, so I can't comment on really the overall movie on either one of them.
Yeah.
But I love the prom scene. But Julianne Moore did not sell me as a crazy mom.
Oh, she was the crazy mom in that?
Yeah. Julianne Moore really just didn't sell me as a crazy mom from what little I saw of her. Just, I don't know, but the prom scene was great. I love that prom scene. Now, the crazies, I have seen this one. I have seen the remake. And I love the first third of this movie. The rest of it, I can't get through.
Never saw it.
First third of this movie is fantastic. Just all of a sudden, people just lose their damn mind. They get sick and they start losing their damn mind. It's kind of almost like apocalyptic thing. A little zombie-esque. And as these people just start trying to murder you, and they were like your friends and your family, and they just start it is insane. There's a lot of good stuff at the beginning, and then it just goes and explodes, and it just sucks. Oh, I have seen The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh boy, don't get me started on that.
It was awful. That was an awful movie. I saw the remake. It was like, oh God.
It's just another one of those. Why are you doing this? I mean, what is wrong with you? Leave it alone. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's a name only anyway, so what the hell?
Yeah. Have you seen it, Colin?
I've not seen the remake. I think I saw the original a long time ago. All I can say is Klaatu Barada Nikto.
Klaatu Barada Nikto is nowhere near this movie. Yeah, it's awful. God, the original is just such a wonderful classic. It was directed by, I think, Robert Wise, man, who, of course, this guy directed West Side Story, The Andromeda Strain, Star Trek, the motion picture, a lot of other things, and of course, Day the Earth is Still. What did this guy direct here? Scott Derrickson. He's done some other good stuff, hasn't he? Or is he?
Scott who?
The guy who directed the Day the remake stood still.
Day the cinema stood still.
Stood still. Okay. All right.
Derrickson. He probably did. He did something I think I liked. I can't remember now though.
Not the night. I don't want the night. Okay, there we go. I want that one. No, wait, nope. This is the original.
Yeah, he did Doctor Strange, which is great. I love that.
Okay, all right. I like Doctor Strange.
Before that, though,
I think if you start analyzing it, it has some problems. I just wish Benedict Cumberbatch. My main problem was Benedict Cumberbatch having an American accent that sounded like he was holding its breath.
But the character was from New York, so
I know, but I'm just saying, like, y'all, that's something I would have just let you just get away with, because Benedict Cumberbatch's voice is awesome. And so it's like, why would you make that an American? Just make him British. It doesn't change anything of his character, from what I've gathered. You know, you could have, he was born in Britain and he just lives in New York. There you go, I fixed your issue. And he's just a British.
Well, what
you say that makes
go ahead.
Give me a thought.
Considering what they did to the ancient one, I mean, why not? I hear you. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
How many Americans realize that Hugh Laurie wasn't an American in House?
You know what the problem she has with Cumberbatch about that? I have that problem with Laurie because I love him so much on British things like Blackadder and Bit of Fry and Laurie that I can't take his House accent. I think it's faking.
Oh, it blew my mind when I first heard it.
Yeah, I really think it's horrible. I love the guy.
Hugh Jackson too. I was just like, I first heard him as Wolverine. That was my first, and I was just like, wait, what are you doing? What happened? What is he? Oh God, he's or John Boyega. People like that who are actually kind of master the American accent. And how I know you're faking your accent is it sounds fake. I know it sounds bizarre, but like if you can convince me you're an American, then you have done a good job. I can't hear your accent coming through. But Benedict Cumberbatch did not do that. He did not. He sounded like Alan Rickman in Die Hard.
No, that's what we always got the impression, admittedly, obviously with the other side of the book, but we always got the impression that Hugh Laurie, it seems to be the thing in the post that Hugh Laurie's in House convinced a lot of Americans who hadn't seen him before that he was an American.
Yeah, he did. He convinced me. I had no idea until afterwards. I was like, oh, that's okay. That's good. That's a good job. But I was very aware Benedict Cumberbatch was British. Like, very aware. Yeah. Not just before, but like just, you can tell by how he talks that it's like, he's like, just.
I think it might be the same problem you and I have because you're so used to him now. Like I said, I'm the same way with Laurie. I loved him on shows for many, many years before he did House. And so I'm thinking that voice inside my head of Hugh Laurie is so brilliant of an actor. And it doesn't mean to hate House or anything. I'm just saying when he's doing that American accent, just like Patrick McGowan's one of my favorite gods of all, when he tried an American accent, and a couple of other British actors have tried it, I've been like,
yes.
Hey, Mel Gibson was great at it, but once in a while he'd slipped.
Y'all watch, have y'all seen even the trailers of Knives Out? And you hear Daniel Craig try to speak with a Southern accent. I'm just like,
God.
Stop it. What are you doing? Stop.
Oh, man. Some of them are good. Bob Hoskins was great at it.
Sending him a cease and desist. Stop it. Stop.
Tell him cut it out. Oh, you know what I can do in a Southern accent? I don't know. Some of them can.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's so
look at this next one. This is a disgrace right here. Death Race 2000. It's supposed to be Death Race 2000 remake.
Mm-hmm.
Classic film, classic B. Roger Corman film, the original with David Carradine, Sylvester Stallone, and others. I don't know what they were thinking with this dribble.
Okay, I'm just reading the synopsis of, or the little summary of Endless Love, and it sounds like a ripoff of Romeo and Juliet. Anybody else?
Yeah, it totally is.
Okay, awesome. All right.
But it is based on an old film from the either 80s or 90s. I mean, 70s or 80s, Endless Love.
70s, I think.
Yeah, most known for the song, the theme song, really.
Oh, Evil Dead. Oh,
good God.
Oh, hey, we got two good big hitters back to back. Jesus. All right, Evil Dead. I saw the original with Bruce Campbell. Loved it. Saw the sequels. Laughed my ass off. Loved it.
Evil Dead too.
And they're hilarious. I love them. There's a skeleton scene, and I think the second one that I fell off a chair laughing.
It was too fun. And the eyeball. How about the eyeball?
Oh, so great. Now, Evil Dead is one of the first, or the remake is one of the first horror movies I actually saw, kind of on my own, kind of willingly on my own. Wow. That was so over gruesome that it's just not good. It just all they wanted was gore. That's all they wanted. It's all they wanted.
Yep.
They just wanted gore, 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 gore. And it's like, well, this is so you're telling me, and it's like, so you're telling me that this girl that needs obviously to go to some kind of clinic or something, is going to go cold turkey on these hard drugs. I think it was heroin or cocaine. I can't remember which one. And first of all, she dumped it in a well, which that's drinking water for somebody, you asshole. But okay. And then they go, it's like everything is just like, oh, they go to an abandoned forest and oh, there's blood on this trap door. Let me go down. Oh, there's skin books. Let me keep picking them up. You know, it's just like, oh, let me do this and let me do that. Let me read from this passage from this obvious satanic book. And you know, it's just really stupid. We have probably my favorite thing from the Evil Dead remake is Hippie Jesus is what I called him. He was a guy that was very, very, very hipster Jesus. He was very hipster, and he kind of had the Jesus thing going on, and he was like unkillable for 95% of the movie. He got nail gunned, he got needled, he got thrown places, he got stabbed, he got like body parts taken off, and he was still alive the whole movie. And then how he died was so pathetic. It's like, okay.
Oh man.
It was to the point that it was funny. That's how bad it was. It just made me laugh. But this Fantastic Four remake.
Fan Four stick, you mean?
I will be leaving y'all to talk about that. Both of y'all, I think, are much bigger Fantastic Four fans than I am, and I didn't like this movie. So,
well,
I'm saying it.
You're being kind. You probably can guess how much the Fantastic Four mean to me. Anyone that knows me, they mean just about everything there is. Where's the giveaway? Yeah. I love them beyond belief. Now, this movie's so horrible, and almost to the point where you almost have to just go, wow, it's fun to watch something this horrific. But this was filmed right up the street from where I live. So back in 2013, when they were filming this trash, I had to ride to work every day knowing that this abomination was being spewed off. And it would take hours to tell you all the horrible things that went on the set and what a horrible film it is. Suffice it to say, it got everything it deserved. Look, everyone calls it Fan Four Stick because look at the stupid logo. Those crappy Sony movies they made back in the aughts.
Oh my God, you're right.
They're pretty innocuous, but they're not good, but they don't really bother. It's like, you know, one of those things. This one's bad. This is one of the worst films ever made. And I'll just say there's one shot where the effects are so bad, the Human Torch, quote unquote, is standing in a completely darkly lit room, right? Well, he bursts into flames, and he's in the flames, but there's no light in the room. It stays dark. There's like, guys, I think if you light a candle, this a man bursting into flames, and there's no.
What's might be Alex Kurtzman, was it?
This is made by a guy. His idiot name was Josh Trank.
Oh,
he was hired to do while he was making this. Now he was hired to do one of the Disney upcoming planned Star Wars, films. And after he did a lot of really bad things on the set of this film, they fired him while he was still making this garbage. Fired him. Even Disney had some kind of standards. It turned out.
So Disney thought his movie was so bad, and yet hired J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson.
No, they didn't. It wasn't that. It's because of his conduct that they fired him. He trashed a house that Fox had rented for him, trashed it, and he treated all the people on the set like garbage. And he was a drunk piece of crap. And that's actually why they fired him. It was his conduct. It was nothing to do because Disney would know a bad movie if it bit him on the ass because look at the garbage they make.
Yeah,
so no, if he had behaved himself, he would have been directing one of their stupid movies. No matter how bad this is. I
think I would have actually, I would have liked to have seen that. I would have liked to have seen, let's see, the first one done by this guy, and then Rian Johnson, and then J.J. Abrams. I think that would have been hilarious.
Oh, it would have nailed that coffin lid, wouldn't it?
That would have been really funny. Oh my God. Oh, hey, Lady Miss. How's it going?
Lady Mist. Hey.
Let's see.
Here's a remake of a John Carpenter film. That's strange, isn't it?
I don't know either one of these two. I haven't seen The Fog.
That's a
So,
remake of the
I'm
John
gonna-
Carpenter film.
Yeah, I remember the original one had Adrian Barbeau in it, didn't it? I think. Or was it Jamie Lee Curtis?
And that was Adrian Barbeau.
I
Oh,
thought,
yeah,
yeah,
hold
Yeah, this one had Tom Welling. Okay, I never. I don't. I never saw it.
An impressively awful person, I guess. That's,
Yeah.
wow. And Get Carter. I don't know anything about Get Carter. I
Never
don't know
really.
anything about
Never saw
Guess
it.
Who. All I know about Guess
Remake-
Who is the game, the board game. Guess Who. That's all I know about it.
Get Carter is a remake of a classic gangster movie with Michael Caine.
Yes, that's right.
In the
Yep.
60s,
Mike
I think.
Hodges. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I ever saw it though. I don't think I ever got to see it. But yeah, obviously.
No,
But
I know the film. Guess Who I've
Yeah.
never heard of.
Oh, interesting. Are you reading what's on Guess Who? That's
Sidney Poitier film. Yeah.
no. I'm reading like the little.
Oh
like,
my
descriptions
God.
and shit.
Yes,
it's
I know
like-
about this one.
Eris, can you stick the address for that in the chat? 'Cause I was looking on. I was trying to look it up on IMDb and I couldn't find it.
Oh yeah, here, hold on a second. I'll throw
Yeah,
it in the
that's-
private chat so you can just copy and
Yeah.
paste.
Yeah,
Why would
so-
you remake? Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Well, what is wrong with
Oh,
people?
that's
Like,
what it
are you
is.
doing?
Yeah, I've heard of that
Yeah,
one.
what in the hell is wrong with people? What would you do that for? It's like one of the Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn, Sidney Poitier, and
like-
Margaret. What are you doing?
They were race
Why would you-
swapping in 2005. It's
Yeah,
not
oh, yeah.
interesting. You know, it's just like it's something you figure. Like I've said this before. It's like 2016. Ghostbusters 2016 is kind of like everyone's general like starting point for all of this. But this has been slowly building for so long, and none of us even really recognized it. That it felt like Ghostbusters with a punch to the face. In reality, you had stuff like this happening all the time.
Yes.
It's like, why on earth would they swap it? I think it's interesting how they swapped it, because I feel like it would have been reversed in this day and age, but it's like, wow, that's odd. It's just, it seems like an odd movie to make
Yes.
in general, and then to remake it in modern day is even stranger.
It
I don't
really
think
is.
they make it today. From the read of it, I don't think they make it today.
No.
No.
Poor old Bernie Mac though. He was pretty cool. Cool dude.
The Hitcher. This
Ugh.
is
Oh
So
boy.
it's all fine.
the Hitcher cannot be made now. You can't do it.
No.
And yes, I've seen the remake of House of Wax, but not the original. I didn't realize there was an original.
Oh yeah.
I saw the remake with Paris Hilton. All right, so yes.
Yeah. Vincent Price.
It was but the Hitcher is cannot be made nowadays, because how many people do you know do hitchhiking, try to hitchhike, or let people? No one does that now.
No,
No one-
I don't
no
think anyone
one
does
does
that
that.
anymore.
So to make that even remotely in the modern era, even 13 years ago, is stupid, because that
Yes.
doesn't happen. That hasn't happened in my lifetime. I didn't grow up like I didn't
No.
grow up with the idea that hitchhiking was even a remotely good thing. Because even at a young age, it's like, well, why the hell would I get into a car with some stranger? What the hell's wrong with you? Why would you just assume and trust them to like bring you to your destination? And so movies like that can't be made nowadays.
No.
It was a thing over here to a degree that you could sometimes get military. If you're military in uniform, you had a reasonably good chance of people still respecting military, and sometimes you could hitchhike. Obviously, you were an adult, not a youngster.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could do that probably these days, because I'm sure there was a time when you were reasonably okay. I should say, in uniform, and you get a chance of getting a pickup, because the person picking you up will probably have a reasonably good truck, reasonably right across if you were in uniform. But nowadays,
Yeah. Well, like what like Chris Great Purser said,
Yeah.
you can't I was talking. Oh, I was on House of Wax saying you can't touch President Vincent
Mm.
Price. That's true. But yeah, I can't think of the last time I ever saw anyone hitchhiking. I don't know.
I don't see it. I don't know.
No.
Because no one would do it. I don't think. I think
No.
buses are spread out enough nowadays, like metro systems or whatever, kind of spread out enough to generally cover everyone. But I feel like in small towns, people know each other. Like everyone kind of knows each other.
Different times.
It's one of those movies that you can't make. It's there's several different types of movies, particularly like horror movies, that count on the fact that there's no cell phones. So
Yep.
to remake them in modern day with cell phones kind of destroys that. Unless, and this is the only way you can get out of it, there's no signal. That's the only way you can do it. And that's kind of actually become such a common thing in a horror movie, is no signal. Very rarely do I go to places with no signal. That I have a signal.
Yes.
And those are very brief little dead spots. That's not like spread out everywhere. But
Absolutely.
House of Wax. Yeah. House of Wax, I don't even remember anything good. I just thought it was hilarious that Paris Hilton was in it.
From Vincent Price to Paris Hilton, where are we in this world?
I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh, okay. I know, Dwayne, she kind of puts on an act. I don't think she's really as ditzy and stupid as she puts on the act to be. But
she's really good at acting then.
I really don't think she is, because I just get I get a fake vibe from when she's doing it, because she overdoes it. It's just
could be.
Yes, it is a trope. It is, yeah, in a horror movie.
You have to do that though, probably.
Because then you just call the police, and then or they kill off the police. That's the only thing. But then you'd have to count on there being like one dude, and not like a whole force of people. I don't know anything about these two.
Well, Ice Castles, I never saw it, but I know it's an original of a film with Robbie Benson or something of the 70s. But In-Law, what's that?
I think I vaguely recall Ice Castles.
Yeah. And In-Laws is a remake of a really fun film of the 70s. Was it, oh God, who was that? Alan Arkin and Jack Lemmon or something like that? If I remember right. I can't remember exactly. It's been a while, but I remember, a really funny film, and I remember this didn't even bother to this one. So Michael Douglas and now Albert Brooks, they're both good, but I don't know about a remake of that.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah. I mean, that sounds like some good actors. You notice that a lot of these remakes end up having a lot of good actors.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've heard about Karate Kid. I've never gotten into the Karate Kid. But I remember when the Karate Kid was being advertised, it was everywhere. It was on billboards. I don't think we see a movie on billboards nowadays.
This one you mean?
Yeah, this one. Yeah. It was like everywhere. You couldn't get away from it. I think I saw a billboard recently, actually, that still had it up. And I was just
like,
what is happening?
Yeah.
What happened?
I like I like Jackie Chan, but I never saw this thing. No. Who did? Nobody did.
I didn't see anything about It's Alive. It's very hard for me to take Jaden Smith seriously, just as a person.
We all know they'll be making another one soon. And the kid will be a girl. The Kung Fu Master will be Kung Fu Mistress. If they haven't already made one.
Oh my God, man! I love what this guy says. Magnificent Ambersons is like he said it all with his apparently not directed by Orson Welles. That should tell you everything you need to know, because it's an Orson Welles classic. I believe it may have beat it came out. Did it beat It's a Wonderful Life for Best Picture, or some other one did? But it was around the same time, and it won Best Picture. And it was just about when Best Picture meant something. This idiot remade an Orson Welles film. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, it's a TV movie too. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, good Lord. Back when they still made those. Here's one that pisses me off, though. I love the original Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds.
God, is that Adam Sandler?
Let's stick Adam Sandler in a remake playing the Burt Reynolds guy. You're supposed to believe Adam Sandler is an NFL quarterback.
No.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Oh my God.
Adding Adam Sandler, generally speaking, to your movie is like a death sentence to your movie.
Oh my goodness! And you got 2 of them on here. You got 2 Sandler films on
Oh
here.
no, they're both. Oh god.
Oh, he's a remake guy, isn't he?
Oh, he just makes things, and you're just like, why?
He did it again. This guy's pretty funny. He did it again, but apparently not directed by Frank Capra, because Mr. Deeds Goes to Washington is a classic.
Oh, I know Mr.
Or,
Smith.
I mean, not Goes to Washington. Mr. D. No, I'm sorry. I mean, not Goes to Washington, but the original's a classic. Sorry.
I know Mr. Smith, not Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, Mr. Smith. Yeah,
Oh,
Mr. Deeds.
yeah. Okay, we watched it in middle school, I think.
Yeah.
And really good movie. Really good movie.
Yes, and Adam Sandler being in a remake of it is that would be correct.
Oh my god, they remade it. Sorry, I'm just realizing that they remade it and Adam Sandler was in it. Sorry, I need a moment.
Yeah, that's what they needed to do there. Make Adam Sandler version, because his other one's just not good enough, man.
Oh, that's no. Stop.
Mr. Deeds Goes to Town was the original. I always forgot I haven't seen it in a long time. Nevertheless, at least I made a mistake, but at least I didn't put Adam Sandler in a remake, so I did something okay.
Well, it sounds like it sounds like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. So
yeah,
it sounds like
it was a club on my part, but
also Rip Jensen Ackles.
Gary Cooper.
I love him from. I don't know this movie, but I love him from Supernatural. So
yeah, well, he's cool, but what My Bloody Valentine? Wow.
I don't know anything about My Bloody Valentine, but
it's a slasher film from the 80s.
Oh, classic.
The guy chopped people up a lot and he chased teenagers around and killed them. So it's
just literally a slasher from the 80s. Yeah, that's actually
all it was.
Whole summary.
Well, he did it on Valentine's Day. That's original.
That is true. Usually it's Halloween.
Yeah. So.
And then sometimes they'll try to be unoriginal and do Christmas.
That's not derivative at all.
But it's funny because it's like, okay, yeah, actually Valentine's Day isn't as well known. Funny as it is. Although Jaws took place in the middle of summer, so that's different too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It was very key to make it in the middle of summer. Because it wouldn't have been as big of a deal if it had been in the off season, But
exactly.
I have a bone to pick with this one. How do you make a Freddy Krueger movie and take all the personality out of Freddy Krueger?
It's that you don't cast Robert Englund. That's how you do it. And I love Jackie Earle Haley. I love the guy. He's brilliant. He's been brilliant a couple of times, but he's not Freddy. I mean,
no, he was very serious. It was dark, and it wasn't dark and funny, which is kind of Freddy's whole shtick.
Right.
But holy hell, man! They made it. It was like so. Imagine Freddy Krueger, take all the humor out, and you have this movie. Because he is just an evil bastard. That is all he is. The whole movie, he is just evil, and they go. In the original Friday the 13th. Wow. In the original Nightmare on Elm Street, they kind of brushed by, kind of did he or did he not kind of thing with the children. They didn't linger too much on it. So it was kind of an interesting idea of whether or not he did it. Because they didn't really confirm it 110% in the original.
I think I've actually seen that one. One of the few that sort of have.
I think actually it's a bit more horrifying to whether he did or didn't actually whether he did or didn't actually do the crimes he was being executed for. They didn't wait for a trial or anything. No, did they? Did he get off? Is that how that was? Someone made a mistake in the evidence or something.
Right, and he was lynched by the parents.
Yeah, he was literally he was burned alive, and it was kind of whether or not did he or did he not kind of a back seat because he just wanted revenge on the parents, which is why he specifically went after those children. So again, it's like you didn't know whether he did or didn't. No, this movie went and was like, no, he did. No, he did. And by the way, here's the dungeon. Here's the underground cave he used to take the children to.
Yeah.
And wow, they went hard on that. It was awful.
You know what distinguished the Freddy films, whether you're into them or not, is because I'm not a big horror fan. I know you are. I hated all those slasher movies of the 80s.
Mhm.
This is the first one that added humor
Yeah.
and imagination, because it was all the dreamscape stuff. It
Mhm.
was clever. It was humorous. Whether you think they're not all the movies may not all be great, but it had a character. Yes, he was an evil bastard. He was a funny evil bastard, and there was something to him, and so he wasn't an automaton running around slashing people up. He was funny.
Just,
And you also just mentioned the added depth and humanity they did with his backstory. So that's why he was popular. You weren't just watching another slasher film. The slasher was not just there to chase naked teenagers around. Slasher was there to make you laugh and make you just uncomfortable while you're laughing, and it added a different kind of element to it. So.
Yeah, it was very much they just gave him more depth. And Halloween still is my favorite horror movie of all time. But Freddy is my favorite horror franchise villain of all time. Just because of his added three-dimensional character. And speaking of,
he's pretty great. Oh boy. Spike Lee. Yeah.
Stop with the zombie. Stop with the zombies. It stopped being popular, but you gotta stop. Let's stop with the zombie movies. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good God. Well, and again, a remake of a George Romero film. What are you doing? Why? Everyone considers the original Night of the Living Dead a classic. But this guy said, "Oh, I can know better than that." Okay, sure.
Interesting. I didn't know that. It's been a minute since I've seen the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but that wouldn't surprise me either. That adds another layer of depth that they didn't want. They didn't want justice. They wanted revenge, and it didn't matter whether or not he was. Because it really was very, very uncertain whether or not he actually committed the crimes that he was being. And so to have allowed for that mistrial and, for vengeance. And honestly, I think if he didn't do it, it would have been worse. Like he would have become what he did. He ended up becoming, because it was, how they killed him was so awful. It is just,
yeah.
They trapped him in this old factory thing and burned him alive.
Messed up stuff there.
Yeah.
Come back to the zombie ones again.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. What? Just zombie movies in particular. As a horror buff, when was it that we went from having horror, supernatural zombies to science fiction zombies? When it went from being magic to being the T-virus, etc.
Probably Night of the Living Dead. Probably Night of the Living Dead.
Really?
I was playing Resident Evil, actually. That's the first thing. That's the thing that pops in my mind as far as making things scientific. I'm sure it goes back further.
The original Night of the Living Dead was 1968, wasn't it?
Hold on.
I've not seen those. It's just I know. All the ones I can think of recently have all been. There is a scientific explanation for the quote, zombie unquote, rather than it's a magic curse from the Caribbean voodoo zombie, which all the old zombie movies that I'm aware of were. I was just wondering if there's any point where they seem to decide, okay, we'll all magic, we'll go for science now.
Well, I think there's an old Bela Lugosi film called White Zombie or something like that, and you have some other types of zombies, but usually they're science fiction when it comes to American films that I've seen anyway.
Right.
Yeah. And British films. Was it 28 Days Later?
Yep.
I have 28 weeks later. I know 28 days comes first.
Yeah, and then 28 weeks. Yeah.
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 I have that
Yeah.
movie. I need to watch those. I've heard those are one of those rare zombie movies that kind of redefines it.
Yeah, the zombies are fast. Okay, and that's kind of always kind of they move fastly, quickly.
Yeah, which is a hard thing to pull off because the whole point of a zombie is it's a reanimated, decomposing corpse.
Yeah, I prefer it that way too. To be honest, you need to have some kind of edge if you're being swarmed by a bunch of zombies. If you're to make it interesting for humans to survive,
it's literally quantity over quality because they are decomposing.
Right.
Because they're barely living dead things that are just driven by the need to feed, as they put it. Yeah, and to
That's why Jeff Tracy never allowed zombies near Tracy Island. They would have eaten brains. So really old bad Thunderbirds joke there.
Thunderbirds, yes, on our go, by the way.
Let's see what they are.
my main experience with Night of the Living Dead was there were arcade games, and they used to be everywhere when I was younger. But particularly in movie theaters or an arcade game section. And they would have Night of the Living Dead there, in pizza places, and and that was a arcade video game that they would have there, and that was my first kind of introduction to the Night of the Living Dead was seeing that really bad graphics.
Yeah.
On the screen, but yes, I haven't seen that movie. But I saw the trailer and I was like, what?
Yeah, never saw it either.
The trailer is just these superhuman things, and they're building a wall of themselves to scale another wall. It's it is insane.
True.
No, I haven't seen World War Z, so I can't make a big comment on it. I just thought the trailer was insane. To have that, I just need to know how they explain themselves in the movie of how the zombies became quick, because the zombies are decomposing bodies. So you need to explain how something is rotting but stronger.
Well, it's based off a book that is very popular. Here, the movie's not very good, but I haven't seen it. But people who like the book didn't like the movie much. And in that book, there's probably an explanation. I don't know. I didn't read it, but I know a lot of people who liked it.
Let's see.
Old Boy, I never saw the original, but a lot of people really love that film. Why there's a Spike Lee remake, who knows?
Oh, wait, which one?
Old Boy. Yeah, it's a Japanese film.
It sounds interesting, though.
It's a Japanese film. You know how many times Americans have remade Japanese films? I mean, there are tons of them. Yeah. It's very popular. I have not seen it, but a lot of people speak very highly of the original. And again, interestingly enough, what is this, 2013? You never hear hide or hair of the remake. It just when someone says "Old Boy," they're going to talk about the Japanese film original if they're a film connoisseur of any kind. And this one it's Spike Lee, Josh Brolin, Elizabeth Olsen, Samuel L. Jackson, and still people are going to talk about the Japanese film.
Yeah,
probably tells you all you need to know right there. Look at that score, jeez.
All right, I'll have to put that on my list of things.
Oh, is that what? Are they by score?
Oh yeah, it's
no.
That's Metacritic, right?
I was trying to work out what they would by. If they were by, I thought they were by alphabetical order, but they're not by that either.
I think it's just someone's opinion. They just throw in what they think is the worst ones, but I don't think there's any particular order. But I haven't seen anything to do with the Planet of the Apes movies. I was never drawn to them.
Lucky you.
I never saw any of them. I've never been, intrigued to watch it. I know they're classics. I just don't see anything about them. It's just okay.
Oh, the originals are fantastic.
I'm a freak for the originals, the original series, warts and all, and the cartoon and the TV series. This one here by Tim Burton is a disgrace. a piece of. Oh, never mind. But it's ugh. And the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, these new ones, I thought was okay. Then I don't like the other ones too much. But you might like Rise. Rise is interesting.
But she's made a pile of blocks. She's gone up to bananas. Why isn't she eating the bananas? Because I loathe bananas.
Escape from the Planet of the Apes. I mean, that's just fantastic, man.
Shit, we weren't supposed to let them know we could talk. Oh yeah.
I love the originals though, but yeah, that was a disgrace there. Here's another one. I love the Irwin Allen Poseidon Adventure film. I'm going. What is this remake? What are you doing? Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss, Kurt Russell, but I love Kurt Russell though. Maybe I'll watch it one day.
I thought it was made as a miniseries rather than a film. Was it a film?
They did a miniseries also.
Oh right.
I think. I mean, my memory, you never know, but yeah, just again, it never even occurred to me to watch this thing.
Well, I like the poster. I give it that. I actually really like the design of this poster.
Interesting poster. Yeah.
Yeah, so bravo for making me kind of intrigued just by the poster.
I mean, the original had Gene Hackman, Ernest Borgnine. I mean, it's an Irwin Allen film. So good.
Oh yeah.
Here's another. Yeah. Red buttons. Red buttons. I mean, a lot of people.
Red buttons. Yeah.
Look at it.
Trying to get the actress.
Here's another 80s slasher film remake for you.
Yeah, Prom Type. Yeah, I think I've actually seen both of them. It's just, as somebody who didn't really give a shit during their prom, it's very difficult for me to relate to a movie that's trying to make prom this big event that's supposed to be life-changing, whatever. Movies have a tendency to do that. Prom and Homecoming seem to be like the two big things that they seem to want to push as big thing that means everything. It's like, no, it's okay. Prom is okay. Homecoming is it's just so when you center a whole movie around that, it's kind of like, I mean, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. It's supposed to be the best night, but it's like, what are you doing? You're going to a dance, and it's going to be monitored by teachers and.
No, I hear you there. I hear you.
Pretty much. It's the after prom stuff. That's the fun part, where they have like the after party. That's the fun portion. But prom itself.
Is that what you call it? A party. Also, something that the rest of the world doesn't necessarily. Certainly, in my day at school, we hadn't imported proms or anything from your side of the pond, so it wasn't necessarily anything that necessarily meant anything much outside of the States anyway, as a concept.
Yeah, it's a weird concept. The dance doesn't seem to connect at all back to school, so it's a very strange idea of that kind of party. It just, and funnily enough, I don't know anything about Red Dawn.
I saw the original.
I did see in chat that Purple is apparently playing Red Dawn too. So I think she's a fan of Red Dawn.
The original had Patrick Swayze, I think, was the pilot, and it had Leah Thompson from Back to the Future trilogy was in it. I can't remember who else was in it offhand. I think they changed it because it was originally the Russians. When they remade it in 2012, the Russians weren't the bad guys so much anymore, so they made it the North Koreans.
Yeah, it's North Koreans, which was more of a topical thing. Red Dawn, okay, I can see why it'd be called Red Dawn if it was about Russians, because of the red being related to communism. And so the Red Dawn and being about like the Soviet Union, the Russians. I get that. That makes total sense. I don't know how you have a Red Dawn movie about North Korea, because I don't associate the color red with North Korea, really. And I know it's still like North Korea is still communism and whatnot, but Russia is kind of the first thing you think of as an American, at least.
Or maybe China.
Or China. I mean, even that is like secondary. I think of Russia when I think of communism, just because I mean, there's like such a huge portion of our American history that like the Red Scare and McCarthy era, like that whole thing, kind of led to Red almost being associated with it. But it's kind of died out, obviously, because the Cold War hasn't been a thing since for 30 years. But it's kind of sort of just it almost needed to be retitled, like it almost needed to be retitled because it doesn't.
Yeah. When I think of Hollywood, when I think of communism, but that's just me. Red Dawn. Yeah, that movie took like about 5 years to come out or something. A few years, and of course, they had to change the baddies. And, again, another pointless remake. What are you doing?
Well, I'm just talking about the fact that as an American, when you study history, I'm talking to Jetsy. Jetsy says that it is, but I understand that. But when you're an American and you're studying history, Red is very intertwined with communism and Russia.
Indeed.
Rather than China, you don't think of China when you think of Red, just because of how our history laid out. Yeah, and I understand that. It's just, again, that's how we view it. And I do kind of agree that if you're going to have something called the Red Dawn, like, I don't know how much American history is taught internationally. The Red Scare was huge.
I remember it well.
Really big.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it was reasonably well taught over here, I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, because obviously we were quite close up with it. I mean, the phrase "Red's under the bed" is one that I know. I don't think it's not necessarily one we had quite so much over here, which when you consider people like Kim Philby, maybe we should have done. But yeah, I suspect that. But when it comes to Russia and the rest of it, modern history is so very much entwined that probably more of it is taught in Western Europe, at least perhaps, than say earlier periods of American history.
I guess, just growing up studying American history like every year, I just associate Red. If we're talking about like the Red Dawn, like I can see it being, I guess Soviet Union would be the more appropriate than Russia. Soviet Union would actually probably be the better way to put it than just Russia. But like I associate with that. And not so much with China, but I could see a modern retelling with China as the main person. North Korea, not so much. I don't see North Korea being the, I could see China, but I do understand, again, why Hollywood would not make it, because China's huge for Hollywood. And to piss off China like that is like, you don't want to do that if you're in Hollywood.
That's what they say, yeah.
A lot of money that you're just, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up ending it on RoboCop.
A fitting end. It's too bad that movie didn't end before it was made.
Yeah, I was just like, it's PG-13. I called it. I knew it, because PG-13 movies are shot differently. I know this sounds silly, but they're shot differently than R-rated movies. And by that, I mean, you take a PG-13 movie that is really going to need to be rated R. The original RoboCop, I think, either was rated R or was at least a very hard PG-13. I don't remember when PG-13 came into the rating system. I know it didn't exist. It hasn't always existed. But from what I gathered, there is a scene where he is shot down, basically. It's before he becomes RoboCop, if I'm remembering.
You mean the original, the real one?
The original and this one.
That's right.
Those scenes are both obviously in there because they kind of have to be in order for him to become RoboCop.
Sure.
But in the remake, what they do in PG-13 movies, there's not blood. There's not really a lot of blood. There's a little bit of blood, but not a whole lot of blood. In our movies, they don't care. There will be all the blood. And so when you see a movie that is remade, that the remake was technically a rated R movie, and it's remade into PG-13, that's because they're softening the movie. They're trying to make it available to other audiences. That's something the Marvel movies do. They hit the 4 quadrants. If y'all know those. The 4 quadrants are like small children, I think teenagers, adults, and the like senior citizens. I think are kind of the 4 quadrants, or what they're considering. So they try to have the movie appeal to all of the quadrants so that all of them can go enjoy the movie so that the most people can possibly see it and give them money.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, what this movie tried to do, is to make it so that it was available to watch for a wider audience. But when you kind of neuter your character and your movie concept to appeal to more people, you kind of kill the movie in the process. Like Once Upon a Deadpool is a PG-13 version of Deadpool, and it kills the movie. Yeah, it kills the character because the character is a rated R character. RoboCop is a rated R character. So you're neutering your character by bringing down the rating and doing that. It's not because we want to see more blood. It's not because we like that. It's you created a character that fits a specific type of age group, and then to make it more kid friendly or more like widely, I guess, more audience friendly, like for everybody, you end up making the character not the character. I don't know if that made any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Sure. It's not pretty when that happens. And the same goes for movies that want to claim that they're rated R. And they are very childish. There's some movies that, we're just going to say fuck a bunch, and that makes us rated R. Yes. It's like, no, that's not a rated R movie.
No.
It's like trying to make Dracula or a vampire or something and say, okay, we're going to make a vampire movie, but they don't suck blood.
Yeah, or they don't at least show some kind of,
clean neck.
Yeah, some kind of something happening. Right? It's you're just kind of cutting off your characters from actually fulfilling what they need to be. Deadpool is a rated R character. That is very much so. There's a lot of stories, I think, that are superhero stories that at least I've heard and I've read that are rated R, but they're trying to cater towards kids at the moment. So they're, like I said, they're neutering them.
Well, superheroes they were always intended for kids, so you're actually changing them upwards when you make them for adults. But you can still do that. You can still have those stories for, grown-up stories for adults too.
I'm talking like Killing Joke, for instance, is not a kid story. Those are the stories I'm talking about. There are certain stories that you can make that are rated R that you can make for that. But when you take content that is supposed to be a certain rating and you make it more child friendly, you have a tendency to make the content less of what it's supposed to be. That's just my opinion, though, on that matter.
Well, I hear you there.
Why? The only way I think you can sometimes do it is if you do it so that it's nuanced and layered. So you've got something that the kids will watch, that kids will watch and they like and they'll enjoy, and stuff will go hopefully way over their heads. They will
Mhm.
see something and they'll think, "Oh, that's fine," and won't think any more about it. Adults will see something else in that, which is not. You probably wouldn't watch. That's what with violence, but
Mhm.
of course, sort of sexual innuendo or even, like say, hate to use the word sort of political
Mhm.
suggestion. You can do it, and you do it in layers. But yeah, as you say, if you take something that's meant for kids and you just try to bring it up, or vice versa, something that's meant for young adults or adults, and you just drop it down and say you do all the stuff that you don't want the kids to see, then
Mhm.
yeah, I think you're right. It just completely mutes it.
Yeah.
I believe there's a time and a place. I mean, there's certain things that I think should be for everyone, like the MCU, or even certain Batman films. Now, you take the Dark Knight film; it was geared at a little bit older audiences. You wouldn't want younger kids to watch it.
Mhm.
But Batman is still a character that was intended for everyone. Nevertheless, I'm not saying a lot of people were very upset with the Killing Joke when it first came out. I had a comic shop I was running. I don't.
Mhm.
And that movie I think was terrible that they did of it. But I don't mind if you slap an adult label on something and do it with a superhero.
Mhm.
Batman calls himself to that a little bit. Deadpool all the way. I don't
Mhm.
like doing it with Superman or some of the
Yeah.
lighter superheroes at all.
Superman, Captain America, those
Yeah, I
kind of
don't like that at all.
characters are very difficult. Like I think Winter Soldier is almost as dark as you could do it.
As far as
Technically.
you go. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
I think Man of Steel flew by that, and yes, pun intended. And
Yes.
just didn't understand where to stop. Um,
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
certain characters you make lighter. There's certain characters that are dark that you can make darker. Like you're not going to make a Punisher film for that's rated PG-13. You can't do it.
No,
No.
you should.
Um,
That would be silly.
yes.
Batman's flexible. See, Batman can be Adam West and Batman Brave and the Bold, and then he can be the Dark Knight Detective, and you can go
Exactly.
dark with him. Personally, as far just like you said, I hate Man of Steel anyway, but that's too far for Superman. I think Dark Knight is just on the edge for Batman as far as I want him to go. I don't
Yeah.
need him to go into the too dark territory and he doesn't. Fortunately, even whether you like that movie or not, he doesn't go too off the deep end in the Dark Knight film, and that's
No,
fine.
there are very like I find it a very inspirational movie. Because
Yeah.
it's like very teetering on that edge, but he still let's just put it
Yeah.
this way. He rises a bit more in that movie than he does in Rises. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh boy! One day we were just talking about Rises.
I'll stay away from
You wanna
Rises. I don't want to
your blood pressure going worse than mine.
nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Oh god.
Oh man,
One
no,
of these days I will rewatch that movie
don't
and
do it! Don't do it!
we will do a panel on it. One of these
Don't
days
do it!
I will
Don't
do
do
it.
it!
I will do it. It'll have to be some kind of celebration stream or something. But like I hit like a milestone or something in order to do that kind of thing. But there will be one day where we'll have to rip that thing apart. I don't even think I can do a watch party for it because I would be like pausing like every 5 seconds, just like this is wrong. All of this.
Well,
I have
I got your back on it.
the best thing is I haven't seen any of the Disney Star Wars unquote Star Wars movies.
Oh,
I think
really?
I don't need to have because
Oh, you lucky man! Oh my god!
I've
I
watched
envy you.
all 12 hours of Morla.
Oh, that's all you need. Yep, that is true.
Yeah, I mean, who manages to make his critiques of one movie along with an entire trilogy put together?
Yeah.
A lot more
Yeah,
entertaining that way.
Yes.
I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker, but I've watched
Lucky
the
you.
Mahler coverage of Rise of Skywalker probably about
Yeah.
20 times. It's like a 12-hour stream. I love that stream. They literally go by it frame by frame by frame. They go not literally go by frame by frame. They literally go from scene to scene to scene. They completely tear it apart.
Well,
And so,
it feels like 12 hours when you watch it. So.
oh,
Yeah.
The movie, I mean.
yeah, no, but the stream itself is hilarious. So it's like that's all I need to watch. I don't need to watch the movie because of that. I don't ever have any desire to. And I did see a clip, saw a clip of it, and I was like, no, that's enough.
Well, you know, the whole film is a bunch of clips. One of the guys at Red Letter Media said it best. I don't know if Mahler said this, but when you watch that, and don't watch it, but I'm saying, Rise of Skywalker is like a whole bunch of Vine videos strung together.
I heard it was very dense. It seemed very dense when people were going over it.
I like what Rich, I think it was Rich said that. He said it's like it's so incoherent and it's so choppy and all over the place. It's like watching those old Vine videos, whether it was a Vine or whatever it was. It's like watching a bunch of 6-minute videos strung together. The movie is just absolutely horrible.
You had to recorrect everything from the second one and then try to make a whole nother movie in the process of it. Like, that movie is not going to be good. Let's be honest. There's no way. I don't think the series itself could have been saved ever. Just because, really, I think they should have done 2 more. I think they should have just said skirt with the trilogy portion. We fucked up so bad in 8 that we're going to have to make another one, and then we're going to have to do another one to end it. So
they screwed it up the moment, or they had no chance whatsoever, I think, of recovering it the moment Carrie Fisher passed away.
Yep,
because they screwed up the one thing that everybody wanted to see. It's Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford together. Billy D. Williams as well, maybe, but they wanted to see the 3 main characters together one more time.
Just once.
And they screwed it up. They didn't do it. Harrison Ford decided he didn't want to play, which is fine. He did his bit and he said, I really don't want to play anymore. Carrie Fisher sadly passed away, so they can't do it. I think it was Critical Green, because someone said what they actually do is they do it, it's so fast paced that you never get a chance to think, that you never get a chance to actually realise what the story they are telling. In fact, you don't realise how bad the storytelling aspects of a lot of them are, because they just do action.
Yeah.
So bad. Yeah, so it's all garbage anyway. I hate the Force Awakens. That really ruined it. Anybody talk about remakes? That was a remake.
Oh yeah, that is true. I think so.
I
that in the chat earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I said, I did wonder if it's actually going to be on the list. I think no, IMDb wouldn't have put it because I wouldn't have admitted it was a remake.
Oh, but when I walked out, by 15 minutes after I walked out of that movie, having enjoyed it, I was comparing scene by scene of A New Hope and Force Awakens. I was like, hold on a second, because that was my evidence. We were trying to figure out who Rey was. We had no idea. We had no idea. I don't think anybody had any idea that, at the time of Force Awakens, that she was going to be the granddaughter of Palpatine. That was no one even thought that was a possible thing. We have heard, Palpatine's dead. So okay, no way, absolutely no way. But I was like, okay, she has to be Luke's daughter and I was like, I gave it so much more credit than it was given. I was like, because she's Luke's daughter, because look at the parallels. They literally gave it to you on a silver platter, guys. She has to be Luke's daughter because look at the parallels, abandoned by the parents on a desert planet. Oh, she's pretty good at fixing things. Okay, kind of comes across a droid. There's so many parallels that she has to be Luke's daughter. That's what they were telling us. They were just, they thought they'd be clever and try to, make it just be oh, it's just we're kind of booting A New Hope. It's no, that has to be Luke's daughter. And then it's lol, bah. Palpatine's granddaughter. Competition is my personal favorite fan theory was she was the reincarnation of Anakin. That was my favorite one. I thought that was fascinating. I thought it was fascinating. I thought you could really run with that because she had a lot of similarities to Anakin too. She's Luke's daughter and she's a reincarnation of the chosen one. It's okay, we can roll with that. All right, we can roll with that. Never mind. You went total sideways and we don't know all of what we're doing, Phil. It was really ugh.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of fan fiction anyway.
Yeah, sure, we can call it fan fiction.
Hmm?
I've read better fan fictions than
Oh
that.
yeah. I didn't say it was good. I didn't say it was good fan fiction.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
There's plenty of bad and good everywhere. I mean, like for example, looking Rollerball. Why'd they do a remake of that? I don't know.
All right. Yeah, there was no way we weren't going to be able to talk about Star Wars. No way. It was just, there's no way. Not with how very blatant that Force Awakens
True.
ripped off A New Hope. It's
So bad. It's horrible.
uh,
Horrible. Disgusting. Yeah, it's just depressing when you think about what happened to Star Wars. It's such a shame.
I became a fan between Force Awakens, like a real, like, really big fan of Star Wars between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So, yeah. I didn't get to experience I experienced things differently. I'll put it that way.
Here's you on FM.
I thought that Rey was Palpatine's clone. Was it far enough? Interesting. Yeah, she was so powerful from the get-go. There was absolutely no way that she could have been, anything other than a Skywalker. So then in The Last Jedi, I was very confused. I thought he was lying. I straight up thought Kylo Ren was lying the whole time. I was like, oh, they were nobody. I was sitting there just like, that's a lie. She's so powerful. There's no way that she's not. And the way that Leia like embraces her at the end of Force Awakens, which she should have embraced Chewie, just my opinion. But I thought that was like, she knows. She has to know who she is. So she has to be Luke's daughter. Or maybe she's her own daughter, she's like, oh, they had twins, but one went bad and one went good. And then I heard about the EU and how that was kind of sort of.
Doomcock put a video up yesterday, day before. I think it was Doomcock. And he did. It's really, really. It's such a funny little bit where he gets. Ray goes back in time. Like what about is you get these Chewie and Han. Yeah, Chewie and Han go back, rediscover where they've, the bit where they've come in and when they've got the Millennium Falcon, and she's there telling him this. And she just sort of says, I'll come from the future to show you how to fly this thing. And the last line is Chewie, his hand turns to Chewie, which I'm on Chewie. If I die, I want someone to hug her instead of you. And Tom Doomcock put that literally deliberately in the. But talking of remakes reminds me. Either The Weirdest Nothing New Under the Sun or something about the when George Lucas came up with the mid-chlorians, whatever they are, whichever I can't remember what the word is. There's a series of books by Jack Chalker going back to the 70s, I think they started.
Probably the 70s. He passed a long time ago, didn't he?
Did he really? Wow.
I think he did.
I have no idea.
He was a really good author. He wrote the World War books, fantastic. But he wrote 4 books called The Four Lords of the Diamond. And basically, without going into too much detail, I can see massive similarities between what is happening in those books, and the mid-chlorians.
Okay.
It's literally, I mean, not quite the same, not quite on a level of blue tardigrades, but it's a very, very similar setup. Makes me wonder if Lucas had read it and been influenced by it, which is fine. He put his own spin on these things. But it's something I found interesting when I first came across the prequel. As I say, there's very little new in fiction, really.
Those are the Well Worlds books or something?
No, this is a series of
Soul Rider?
No, same author, but this is the Four Lords of the Diamond.
Okay. I don't know those.
It's 4 books. It's 4 books. Fascinating idea as well about identity.
Yeah.
the basic concept is that you get this. It's highly advanced science fiction. Shut up. Basically, you get this government agent who comes in and he's a playboy and he never knows who he is, and then he gets because his memory's always white. And basically, he actually gets his memory gets transferred to 4 different agents who each think they're him because they've got the memories, and they each sent down to a different planet. It's I have to go and read them again. I think maybe they're really, really. He was a really good author. And got good.
Yeah, he was prolific. Got a lot of friends who were into his stuff, but I never got a chance to look at it. So
Yeah.
I knew of him though. He used to. I actually seen him at a con or two back in the '80s.
Wow.
So, yeah. So good writer. Well, I should probably look into his stuff. So yeah. There's nothing new coming out anymore. Anyway, you got to read. So get stuff somewhere. Like you get old stuff now.
Yep.
Yeah.
$5 bins at Walmart or Best Buy.
Hmm? Oh yeah. You're right. There you go. Yeah.
Or the $3 bin, which is really fun.
Oh god, yeah. Cheap stuff.
One of the things I found when I first started getting Kindle or some of the ebook readers years ago now, when I discovered there was so much, because a lot of the stuff I read or I want to read or series I get picked are old stuff going all the way back to Target and Organisations Revolution, the Doctor Who series onwards.
Oh, I have all those.
You just can't get it physically. Yeah,
right.
I've got them all as ebooks now, and there's so much stuff you can get from various sources as ebooks.
Wow.
Some of it that's not published at all, and other stuff that's old, it's never been published, and other stuff that's just old stuff you can find. It's such an amazing resource, Steve.
I collected all those back in the '80s. Those Target Doctor Who novelizations, they were great.
Yeah.
Well,
in my case, even back to things that I've been interested in, if my reenactment and historic history interests, there's you get people who've scanned in medieval combat manuals and this fossil and historical and this sort of thing. So much out there. Not too much to read in my lifetime.
I hear you there.
All right, guys. I am going to end the stream now because, well, I have things I need to get done. But I don't know when I'm going to do a part 2 for this. Probably next month because I have a couple streams lined up for the next few weeks. So whenever I can go back to this. There's a few others that I need to get done first, but this is kind of a topic that is forever giving because, like I said, we found that one article that said 79 remakes in the last 2 years.
Yeah, plenty of fuel for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you having us on. That's very nice of you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll have to put your channel in the description, Mike, just so I can. I'll get around to that. So, because you did come on the stream, so I appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Well, I still hope you'll come online one of these days. I'm still come hang with me. We'll talk about something. We'll find something. Yeah, we'll talk. Maybe not rises because we don't want your blood pressure to be rising, but
that's a whole stream.
And we'll talk about the one you like, Dark Knight, the Dark Knight, or maybe or something like that.
Yeah, and the Dark Knight.
Yeah. If you want, we'll debate it pro and con if it makes you happy. But yeah. I'll take up devil's advocate, and you can we can pretend to argue about it or something like that.
I really do agree with a couple things. It's not a perfect movie. It is just my favorite. That is the difference. People sometimes think that just because something is your favorite means it's the greatest movie of all time.
Oh no!
I will occasionally say that it's the greatest movie of all time. I do not say that objectively. On a subjective level, I find it the greatest movie of all time.
Well, I was just basically just kidding with you there. I was just saying. It would be fun to talk about, though.
Yeah, love to do that.
I'll explain to you the historical etymology of the phrase "devil's advocate."
You have a way better topic than me. I'm going to be on tonight talking about superhero cartoons because I'm that mature.
Oh, hey, the Justice League animated series and Unlimited are some of my favorites of all time. A TV series of all time.
Well, it will be talked about at length, I can assure you.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, when I get back, I might pop on for that. Maybe.
Well, it will be on there. I understand, but yeah, I would love to see you. I'll just put the link over there and just
All right. Just hold on a second. Here, throw it at me, and I can.
Oh, I think I put it in the right spot. Thank you. Great seeing you all here tonight, and thank you so much. Nice meeting you, Colin.
You too.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everyone. Hope y'all. Thank you, everyone, for popping in, and thank you for everyone. Leave the like and everything.
Wherever you are in the world.
Yeah. Bye. Oh wow, that was way too high. I'm gonna try this again. Bye, everyone.
Later, Gators.